What's going on, beautiful people? Thank you guys for tuning in, for watching, for listening to my bullshit. Thank you for that. I appreciate your appreciation. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about what repeated exposure to what is referred to as the psychedelic state of mind has taught me, and still teaches me, mind you, about life. And I've sort of sat down quickly in a few minutes, just said, okay, first thing that comes to your mind, major lessons from psychedelics. What if they taught you and still teach you, mind you, still teach you about life, about a way of being in life, right? And I came up with the 4 noble truths of Said. And the first one, present moment, right? Present moment. Psychedelics have a way of putting you in the present moment. I don't know what it is. It's something to do with the way they establish certain connections in your brain. They take away blood so they decrease the blood flow to the area where you perceive time, past and future, where you're always thinking about what you've done in the past or what you're going to do in the future. And they sort of just establish something in your brain, something clicks. You're right here in the present moment, in the now, and you're so involved in the moment here. So like you could be going out for a walk in nature and you're so involved in what's going on right here, right now. Now, of course, meditation is something that is supposed to bring you to the present moment. And it's sort of, psychedelics is just a quick, you're a dumbass like me and you don't fucking know shit. So here's a kick for you. Be present, be here, be in the now. And really all there is this moment here. Because in the future, most of your future doesn't come to pass, really. Like, think about it. When was the last time you planned something and it happened exactly the way you planned it in your mind? Really, like, that's so rare to happen, It happens once in a blue moon where you plan something and it goes exactly as planned. But really, like, when was the last time? Really, things happen spontaneously, novelty. Things have a way of unfolding, of happening on their own momentum. There's a flow to life, which is one of the 4 noble truths of Said. We'll talk about that. But really, like, it's just past is past. It's gone. I mean, I don't have a time machine. If you have a time machine, please let me know. Okay? I'd like to have a time machine myself. There's a few things in my past I'd like to go back and alter and change. Okay? But I don't have a time machine, and neither do you. So then, why are we in the past? Why are we in the past? Why are we worrying about the future or even planning so much about the future if most of it doesn't come to the way we think of it anyway? Not to say don't set goals. You guys know how I emphasize on setting big goals and visualizing, but I don't even know all my goals, how I'm going to achieve them. I don't have a single clue how, what's the technicalities of it. So you don't think too much about the future. In the now, what do I gotta do right now? I gotta make this video, right? Okay, I gotta make this video. So you make a video after video and that builds your future. So that's probably number 1 thing, really. Puts you in the present, puts things into perspective and says, hey, you're here, you're right now. And so that's number 1. Number 2. Impermanence. Change is the only constant in life. And that's something that seems to also be a recurring theme for all psychonauts, people who experiment with the psychedelic state of mind. Really, I think the wisdom of the fungus, the wisdom of the spirit of the mushroom, the spirit of ergot, which is what's found in LSD, the spirit of these psychedelics, they speak to you. And one of the fundamental truths that they keep telling you over and over and over and over Change is the only constant in life. Be comfortable with change. Everything's changing. Impermanence is the way of this Maya, of this illusion, of this world. Impermanence is the way of you, who you are right now. You're impermanent. You're an impermanent being. You're always changing. Your body is a ticking time bomb. It has an expiry date, just like if you buy milk and you put it in your fridge, it has an expiry date. Your body has an expiry date. Now, we can prolong that expiry date using technology, but the fact is, it still has an expiry date. It's impermanent. Everything is impermanent. This moment is impermanent. And this sort of ties in with the first truth, which is present moment. It's like, well, if everything is impermanent, then all there is now. So let me make most of now. Really, it sort of comes together as like, ties in together. So since then, I've been a lot more comfortable with change, right? And if you ask my mom, growing up, she would tell you, you are like one of the most you cling on to things. And it's true. Like if I build an attachment, I attach. If I build an attachment to a place, to a city, to a school, to a person, I attach. That's sort of how I grew up, to be honest. And up until I started doing psychedelics, I still had this problem of attachment and clinging onto things, right? Well, a few trips later and a few microdoses later, I really am quite comfortable with change. I'm quite comfortable with change in all forms, really. Because the psychedelics keep emphasizing and re-emphasizing and re-emphasizing and telling me over and over and over, you gotta be comfortable with change, dude. This is the way of life. This is the way of nature. This is the way of you. You're an impermanent being. Your death, be comfortable with death. Death is just another way of transformation. You just transform into something else, right? It's like Yoda says in Star Wars, when he's talking to, who was he talking to? Luke's father, right? I haven't watched that Star Wars, but I've seen the scene. So for you Star Wars fans, please don't butcher me. And he's talking to Luke's father, and Luke's father is angry. And so Yoda tells him, anger is the path to the dark side, And then because he's angry, because I think his, either his mom or his girlfriend or his wife is gonna die or died or something. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. And he feels angry because he can't do anything. And then Yoda tells him, don't mourn for those who join the force. Mourn them not, miss them do not. They're so in a better place, kind of thing. Anyway, should watch that scene again. I should watch that because I've only seen the first 3 Star Wars, the original ones. I haven't seen the prequels, which came after. So I should watch those. Star Wars is cool. It's cool. It's got a lot of those psychedelic themes in there, planted in there. And so change is the only constant in life. Being comfortable with changing jobs, changing cities, changing occupations, changing friends, lovers, right? Because this is really the essence of life, guys. Change, right? I think our consciousness, our essence, is eternal. But this ego that we have, this character in front of you right now called Saeed, the character watching this video called whatever, that's impermanent, and you can't argue with that. So the best thing to do is to embrace change, embrace impermanence, because that's how we embrace life. That's how we be present fully here. By saying, you know what, I am observing nature, I am observing how this life works, I am observing myself, I am observing past generations, future generations. I'm studying history, and I'm coming to this realization that the only constant in life is change. So if that's the only constant in life, I better damn well be comfortable with that. Okay? So that's number 2, Noble Truth of Saeed. Okay, number 3, the concept of flow. right? Flow, synchronicity, coincidences, the flow of life. Prior to taking psychedelics, I didn't fucking know what that meant. If I heard the term synchronicity, if I heard, the term synchronicity, first of all, I would have no fucking idea what that means in the first place. And, second of all, if you explained it to me, I'd be like, this sounds like a mumbo jumbo bullshit here. What are you saying here? Synchronicity, everything happens for a reason. Everything has a flow. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? No, the way I think of it is you get shit done, right? I'm a control freak, naturally. You get shit done, man. You control everything. You do everything. You do this, you do that. But then, as I started to do more psychedelics, first of all, every time I did psychedelics, a bunch of synchronicities happened to me on that day. And it just seemed really fucking weird. Okay? And like the people that I met while I was on trips and the things that were happening and just, it's, you know what I mean? It started to feel a little bit weird. And this is when I started to look into like, what the fuck's going on? It turns out synchronicity is a thing. And it turns out like actually if you tune yourself into that frequency of synchronicity, it becomes the dominant way of your life, and that actually life has a flow, that everything has a flow, that you're just like an individual expression of the universe, and you also have your own flow, just like a river has its flow and different rivers have different flows, right? And just like different bird flocks have a different flow and they travel differently and they go different places. And just like the seasons have their flow, winter has its flow, spring has its flow, summer has its flow. And you, as an individual expression of this big thing, of this universe, of this force, right? You also, as an individual expression, have your own flow. And maybe if you tune into that flow, things will be just much better. And they'll happen more effortlessly, more quickly even. And you won't have to strain yourself so much, and you won't have to think that this ego has to do everything and has to be in charge all the time. It's like, well, there's a flow to this universe, and there's a flow to your character's existence on this planet. So if you just get in the flow of your character's existence, see what gets you in flow. For example, one thing that give me in flow is going to the gym. So I try to go almost every day. Sometimes I make videos and I go to the gym. Other times I go to the gym and I make videos. Today's one of those days I'm going with my own flow, which means I want to create videos before going to the gym. Other times, like a couple days ago, the flow was I wanted to go to the gym and then make videos after. So I just start to follow the flow. You follow your highest, you call it the highest excitement, your highest urge. What do you have the urge to do right now? Like, what is your biggest urge? Right now, my biggest urge is to make this video. Right? I usually drink my tea and chill and do my thing. But my urge is I'm going to drink my tea and make the video as I'm doing it. I have the urge. The words are coming up in me right now. The psychedelic four noble truths of Said's. It's got to burst out. Okay? So, yeah. There's a flow to everything. Everything's perfect. Synchronicity. Trust synchronicity, trust the universe, trust the force. I mean, you have to. What else are you gonna fucking do, really? Surrender, right? Surrender, because that's if you want to have a really good trip, you gotta surrender. So this concept of surrender started to dominate more and more of my thinking patterns, and now things just fucking happen more effortlessly, man. Honestly. I don't have to strain so much. I don't have to tell myself, Saeed, you gotta fucking do this, bro. You gotta be in charge of everything. It's like, no. First of all, who the fuck are you to be in charge of everything? Who the fuck do you think you are to be in charge of everything, first of all? Really? That's another thing, man. These psychedelics humble you, right? It's like, who the fuck am I? Who is this motherfucker? Who is this idiot? Right? To control everything. Really? Do you control the flow of the seasons? Do you control the snow? Do you control the rain? Fuck, forget the grandiose shit. Do you control your own digestive system? Do you even control your own basic functions as a human being? No, you don't. I don't. They just happen. Whether I like it or not, shit's happening in my body. And 95 to 99% of all functions that are happening, I don't really control them. So it's like even at a basic level, you basic things you do, like shitting and pissing and coming and digesting food, you don't even control. So if you don't even control those things, who the fuck do you think you are to control the universe and control everything? And you can't, man. That's an illusion. That's just gonna get you in a big mess in life. It's gonna make you feel live a miserable life, right? And I just want to take a sip. That's the flow of things right now. Is I really, the cup is calling me to take a sip. So, flow of life. Surrender to the flow of life, to this infinite flux called love, called cosmic love, or, whatever. Many names for it, right? Surrender to it. It has your best interest. It's benevolent. It wants you to do good. It's rooting for you. Your existence is here for a reason. Another thing, it's here for a reason. So just be in the flow. Be in the flow. Just be in the flow of life. Don't rush. Don't rush things. Just be in the flow. Everything's perfect. And you'll be fine. Have a good time. Chill. Take it easy. And all your goals and desires and everything is already met. Because it's your destiny. So it's in your DNA. So things, relax, surrender to this thing, and you'll be fine. So definitely, and I think a lot of psychonauts, they report this flow, this sense of flow and surrender. So that's my third noble truth. And then the last, or the fourth noble truth. And, I'm thinking about a fifth one, so I might add it, right? But I'm trying to imitate Buddha's four nobles of truth here. So the fourth one is kindness and love, right? Kindness and love. It's calling me again. True spirituality and really doing what you're here to do is simply by being kind to other people. Really, you can be a dumbass, quote unquote, meaning you don't know about anything, right? I mean, we're all dumbasses to certain extents, but you could be the type of dumbass that is a complete robot, right? Works, completely plugged into the matrix, works 9 to 5 and is miserable in that 9 to 5, mind you. Eats shitty food, fucking does, just completely a numb, asleep person. But that person could be a sweetheart. Could be treating people so nicely, right? Could be so kind to people around them at work and everything, despite the fact that they're miserable and stuff, but they have a really gentle soul. Really, they can find that place despite all this, and despite that they're asleep and, they're causing themselves suffering, physical suffering, mental suffering, but they're still treating other people nice. That's enlightenment. That right there is the highest form of spiritual person. Doesn't know jack shit about any of this, right? Is completely doing things against it, if anything. Yet there's that spark in them, that spiritual, that really gentleness, that still treats people really nice, right? That's still because I've seen people like that, man. They're completely out of shape. If you put in all the variables, you'll say, okay, this person eats shitty food. This person doesn't exercise. This person works a shitty job. You put in all the variables, and you would think the byproduct of that would be a person that's shitty to everyone around them. But I've seen them being really sweet, despite all of that, being really sweet. And I can only imagine if they actually maximize all the variables, they would be like a fountain of love. Because all the variables are so messed up right now. They're so fucked up, right? They're doing everything wrong in life as far as taking care of their body and their mind. And yet, they're really kind to other people. I can only imagine if these people took, really maximize all the variables, I can only imagine they'd be a fountain of love and light. A fountain. They probably end up, fucking conquering the world with love. So, to me, that person right there, that kindness and love, to me, that person is, more spiritually evolved than someone who's trying to, meditate for fucking 25 hours a day, but they're not even engaging with people. They're not even, because this is what we're here for, I think. I think we're here for kindness, love, being kind to one another, and helping each other and serving each other. And again, that's a very common recurring theme in the psychedelic state of mind. And this is why I love microdosing, because it constantly reminds me and puts me in that zone. Try and be just this kindness, this love. And it's coming from a genuine place, not from like, oh, I should be kind because, you know, that's what a good boy does. Yeah, fuck that. You know, no, that's a good boy. A good boy is the last thing you want to be, okay, in this society, because that means, you know, you're gonna just never question authority. You're gonna do everything everybody tells you, and if you're a good boy, you would never even dare take psychedelics in the first place. But you don't do it from that place. You do it from a place of hate, because that's just what feels right. This is what I should do as a human being. I should be kind and I should be loving towards my fellow humans, because this is what we're here for. This is why we're playing this video game. You see? So absolutely, really, it's if you're kind, if you're loving, then it doesn't matter. That's it. That's it. Anything else you do, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're kind, you love, you're already spiritually evolved. That's it. You're already an evolved being. If that's your philosophy and that's what you apply in your daily life. I'm going to be kind and loving and try as much as I can to serve people. So now we finish with the 4 Noble Truths of Said, right? The 5th one, we'll add a bonus here, is a real sense of comfort with the idea of death, which really ties to the 2nd Noble Truth, change is the only constant in life. So it ties in, so maybe, you know, it's the same thing, but I thought I wanted to mention it. You know, I made a video about the Johns Hopkins study about people who, one use of psilocybin mushrooms, really like, they were people with cancer. It made them comfortable with the idea of death. They no longer had anxiety about dying. First of all, if you do DMT, which I haven't done, which I'm gonna do very soon, from, you know, the reports that I've heard and everything, it literally takes you to what happens after you die. I've seen this funny meme, right? So the death is there. It's a picture of death, and death is saying this soul is coming in, and death is saying, hey, welcome here. And then the soul is looking at death, and it's like, ha ha ha, fooled you, you bastard. It's just DMT. Because like DMT, what it seems like, it literally takes you to what happens after you die. Like that seems to be like the place, the main lobby for where you entered this game. You go back to the main lobby. Then maybe you enter different games, maybe you re-enter this game. But it seems that it literally takes you to where you fucking go after you die, which is very interesting, right? I mean, talk about getting rid of any sort of uncertainty about what happens when you die, right? You're literally going there. And I've had on mushrooms, I've had one experience where I went to heaven. You can look it up. Just go look up mushroom trip report. I went to heaven. My only out-of-body experience, really, in my entire life. And it happened spontaneously. And I went to the other side. I fucking went to the other side. And when I came out of it, I was with my friend. I told him, bro, there's nothing to worry about. Tell everybody's gonna be fine. Everybody's gonna be okay. We're all taken care of. We're all going to this fucking beautiful place. And it's so much, it's even more beautiful than here. And we're here to create heaven on earth. Now I was like rambling. But I'm no longer scared of death. I kept telling my friend after, when you know, the afterglow, I kept telling him, bro, I'm not scared of death. I'm not scared of death. Like, fuck, yeah. And you know, funny thing, yesterday, I got out of the bus, and then I wanted to cross, right? I wanted to cross, and there was a car that I would never see. It was in my blind spot. And as I was about to cross, an urge told me not to. So then I stepped back, and like 2 seconds later, you see a car just flying in front of me, right? It was in my blind spot. I would never have been able to see it. And it's a funny thing, because I looked at it, I'm like, well, I could have fucking died. I could have fucking died right there and then. And then just this quick urge told me, yeah, so what? Right? And I really don't think I would have even spontaneously said that, right? Had it not been for, first of all, going to heaven, quote unquote, on one of my psychedelic trips. And really just delving into this deep psychedelic state of mind and seeing that there's nothing to be scared of, that this is an illusion, that this is, you know, this is a video game and you're an eternal consciousness. Really, that's what I think psychedelics reveal to you, which is why the term psychedelic means soul revealing or mind revealing. It really reveals to you who you are. So I think that's where I'll finish off the video here. It was fun making it. I love psychedelics. Oh my god, I love psychedelics. So this was fun making. Thank you guys for listening to my bullshit. I love you. I love every single one of you. But don't forget to subscribe or you're gonna sleep with the fishes.